That was great, Dave. Thank you so much. Okay, well, here I am with Dave Van Dorst, and he is well, I never knew. I've known Dave for a number of years. I didn't realize he painted at all. And I was quite shocked, surprised, and delighted to find out he did. That we share something in common, which is fantastic. And he is a very busy man and been doing a lot of busy things. So let's say good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and you look like you're doing great as well.
I'm okay. It's summertime. It's lovely. It's the only part is it's too hot.
Oh, I never say that. I love the heat, so I'm
Oh,
quite content. I'll be honest.
you,
Anyway,
I'm yes.
well, we talk about the heat and being down here. What brought you to this lovely corner of paradise?
Oh, that is very easy. I was here when I was young. I
Oh,
came to the Riviera when I was 14, and I lived here with my dad. My dad started in business here, and then afterwards I was his business partner in the business. So I came here very young, been around, and then I left again. And 15 years later, I came back. And so since 2012, I'm back in the area from between Antibes in the starting back and back afterwards in Monaco.
wow, that's incredible. And you've actually started your art career down here. When did you discover you wanted to paint?
No, that is a much older story. I was painting when I was young. When I was about, I was in the first paintings I made. I was 5, 6 years old,
Oh,
and because I got lessons on school. Because the generator, how do you say, the generator of the school was a famous painter in our area, and so they decided to teach young people to paint. So my first paintings were quite incredible. Like in was a bridge over water, and with that everything started. But later on, when I was in high school in Belgium, I really started to paint well, and my art teacher said, "You know what? You need to become an artist." And I said to her, "No, madam, no, madam, no, no, no. I am going to be a businessman, and this is just for fun." And I left the school, and I left my all my artworks behind.
oh no.
And it's thanks to a friend who was painting, who we know out of that, Marta. Uh, I saw her painting, and I got very interested, and I bought again paint and canvases, and I just started in 2014. I started to paint again, and I was trying to do portraits and everything, and I realized it was not my thing. And then in 2019, I found my way. I wanted to give something back to the world, and I wanted to give back love. So I started to paint hearts. Out of that, my first painting I made in 2014 when I had a broken heart about a beautiful girl in Monaco. I I did paint two hearts, one bleeding heart, and that was the real first painting I made again after all the years. And then in 2019, I started my way with really making hearts with this way of throwing paint and lining paint and painting and creating, and I've been incredible, yeah, creative with this. And the only thing was when I started to expose my paintings, uh, they were saying, "Oh, you are like Jim Dean, who is only making hearts." So I didn't know there was another artist who was creating only hearts, and I refused to paint other things than hearts. So all my paintings have hearts and ladybugs.
And ladybugs.
Yes. And you know why?
No, I don't.
Story is very simple. A ladybug in the house is happiness in the house.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My mom was always saying to me when I was a kid, don't kill the ladybugs in the house. Because we had a big house, and there was always a lot of ladybugs in the summertime. So she interdicted me to kill them because she said it is a happiness for the house. So thanks to a painting I was making for my kitchen, who's called the Heart Garden, I had lots of ladybugs in it. And then a friend said, why you don't sign with that? And then finally it became my signature to put in every painting a ladybug, just for to give the happiness to the house where it is hanging.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. Anyway, you paint at home. I know you do. So can you
Yeah.
show us where you paint? That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
So I have my living room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in my living room, I have a big table standing where I paint.
Wow.
That's my lounge sofa where I was doing normally always big dinners here. I don't know that you never came to my dinners, my famous dinners here.
Not
No.
lucky enough.
So I stopped with doing dinners. I have here my atelier for one part, and I have in Monaco, I have a atelier who is like 10 meters by 3 meters, very
Wow.
long. There I can produce series. So when I make, like I did do for the Netherlands, I did make a series of 12 paintings. I was working on 12 paintings at the same time on tables all along in this atelier. But um, I'm only doing that when I need do big projects, or I must make a collection for an exposition or something. Otherwise, I love to paint here because I even paint middle in the night. When I can't sleep, I'm painting. It's for me relaxing. It's for me, it's liberating myself.
Oh, yeah, I can understand that. Do you have you been inspired by any particular artist?
Not really.
Oh,
Not really. Saw I was walking around a long time and always observing art. I never studied art. Uh, the only artist I always liked was Picasso, and
mhm.
here's a fake Picasso hanging, and who's inspiring me every day. But no, in general, I was surrounded by art all my life, thanks to my father and my mother who were collecting. I will show you something. The real paint, the real art piece, what I really inspired as a kid. I will show you. Don't be shocked, please. Don't be shocked. It could be very shocking, you know. You don't want this. Look, this is a trémois.
Wow. Well,
And this painting, I was inspired because it was hanging above the bed of my mom. And later, when I was got 18, she gave me this painting. And the last, the last, I mean, since young, this painting has always been me an inspiring painting. I did always like this one, so it is hanging. It did follow me everywhere. With
I
all
can,
my ups and downs, it never left me. This painting.
that's good to have something like that. Now, you've been sort of curating work with other artists in Monaco.
Yes.
You found that quite difficult, I understand.
No, it was at one side. It was fantastic because with Joris Brantuas, we were exposing starting artists, and he's still continuing to do this out of that in Monaco. But what I was telling you about is that I was taking care of this, and I didn't really have the time for it, and it was taking me 4 days a week to organize this because we are doing every week a new exposition
Oh, that's
again starting up.
brilliant.
So every week on the Sundays I was starting a new exposition to organize. What was then the opening was always on the Thursdays nights in the time,
Right.
and it was too much. I could not work anymore. It was bothering my daily life with making some money just to survive, and I had to organize. But it was beautiful to do that because it is so nice to introduce, to give a chance to starting artists to expose. The
Oh,
reality is, my first exposition was made possible thanks to Joris and in the time his associate Kashka,
oh yes.
who exposed me the first time. But in that exposition, I sold their first painting to one of my relations, so they were lucky. and they made a good shot on the time. And that's why later on, Joris asked me to work with him. I did do this for him with a very big pleasure for more than 1 year. But then
Wow.
it was too much. I couldn't do it anymore. But
Right.
it's so difficult for starting artists to expose.
Oh, I understand that. Everybody knows that. It's always a struggle. It's always an expense, and it's hard work. And you know what actual work goes on behind the scenes, and it's not
Yeah.
easy. I know all
No.
about. Yeah. Anyway, what I need to know, we're getting near the end of our time, is where can people find you? Where can they find your artwork, more about you, and things like that? What can I?
So first of all, you can find me on Instagram, whereas the link is to my website, Davio Art. So Davio underscore art is my link on Instagram, and you have davioart.com, my website.
Well, I'll post
So
both of
my
those so people
the
can
only
get.
part is my agent is directing that website. So if the information you get in contact with my agent. But yeah, my most important medium is Instagram.
Oh, that's fantastic, Dave. I'm so pleased that you've done this, and I'm really entertained by your work. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done. And thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Now, it is nice to speak to you, Mike, always, and I hope to see you very soon
Well, I
for a
hope
good
so.
beer, for a very good beer together.
A very good beer together. So what we do now is we use big smiles while I hunt for the off button. So thanks again, Dave.
Take care. Bye bye.